What's up, everyone? This is Donnie, aka Elevated with Dota Alchemy, coming at you with another video today, and thank you for tuning in. And this one is going to be how to win any team fight in Dota. And I'm going to show you a specific example of a team fight, but I'm going to talk about the concepts that will allow you to win team fights on a regular basis. And this is a little bit different than the why you suck at team fights. I just kind of want to explain the planning stage, because that's really what it is. You have to plan how you're going to take these team fights. And so I wanted to explain a very specific example of a planning stage. That was one of the things that we talked about in the why you suck at team fighting, was you need to plan your fights. So we're going to take a look at one of those examples here in this video and break down each specific move and why it's so important to have that plan. And then we're also going to look at an example of what happens when you don't have that plan and why it is so disastrous to not plan your team fights in Dota 2. So right here, you can see that we are in a fairly even game in terms of net worth. We're fairly far behind in terms of kills, but that is a secondary thing. Kills are fairly irrelevant when it comes down to actual net worth. And in this game, we are having a pretty hard time because our Terrorblade has a lot of magic damage, a lot of burst to deal with. He does not have a BKB yet, that he's still farming. He has a Manta queued up. I think he goes BKB right after this, though, instead. And we're not, none of us are very strong. We can definitely get bursted by Zeus, who is very farmed, has an Aghanims already. He just rushed Aghanims after Aetherland. We really cannot take team fights very well yet, especially just because Zeus, all he has to do is press R. He knows exactly where all of our heroes are. Our Earthshaker Centaur cannot blink in and get nice catches that way. So how do you approach a team fight against Zeus, for example? The answer is that you have to catch the Zeus. Catching the Zeus is the most paramount part of taking a team fight against a team with a core Zeus or with a farmed Zeus. If we look at their heroes, Abaddon, definitely the least important hero to go on. Yes, he can save his team, but he's just way too much work to actually kill, to bother wasting mana and health and resources, cooldowns, trying to kill the Abaddon. The Undying is sort of similar. He's hard to kill. He's kind of important if we can kill him before the tombstone comes down, but not really that impactful. Shadow Demon, fairly important because he can save his teammates, but again, not that important. He doesn't do a ton of damage yet, only level 10. And then Slark, of course, if we can catch the Slark, that's great, but it doesn't actually even win us the team fight. If we kill the Slark, yes, we kill their carry, that's very good, but their Zeus might still be able to win the fight just because of how much damage he does at this 20-minute stage into the game. So finding the Zeus, killing the Zeus is really the only way that we successfully take a clean team fight. And yeah, we might be able to scrap one out if we outplay people otherwise, but generally speaking, if we're not trying to kill Zeus first every single team fight in this game, we're definitely not doing something right. So we can see here that I'm mid, and I called for a smoke play, and I went and pushed out this lane. So what that does by pushing out this lane is it actually means that they are going to lose vision on our side of the map, right? The creeps have pushed onto their side. They no longer have vision up here, and that allows us to go into the trees over here and smoke. You can see if we go to free camera, they're going to smoke right over here in the trees, and there's no vision that the Zeus has of this happening. So maybe they suspect that we're smoking because they have good vision up here in this jungle, and this is great vision by them. We definitely don't want to be playing in this jungle. But we could also just be going and farming these camps and maybe running over here to push down this bottom lane and maybe just leaving one or two people here to defend the mid tower. So they don't really have any concept of where we could be. And they do have a ward here protecting, but as you'll see, that does not really help against our smoked heroes. So we run up, and I made the call here that kill Zeus first. We have to find and kill Zeus. That's how we win the fights. And we have 2 Blink Daggers that we had recently purchased. I don't think either of them had been scouted yet, so this is a great time for us to take a team fight. We have meta, and if we can find the right targets, again, kill the Zeus first, then we can definitely win this fight. So you'll see that as I go back to the Zeus perspective, he's looking top actually, and looking at the Slark fighting the illusions, and boom, you see everybody appear on the mini map around him. From there, he's totally caught out. We burst him immediately. We get a wonderful rock from our Warlock. We're able to kill Undying, kill the Baden. Shadow Demon runs away, but that's totally fine. Saw that our Terrorblade started to think about, oh, let's chase down the Shadow Demon. He wants the extra kill. He was slow. But we won this fight. We handily won this fight. We also did not lose any heroes, and we're all fairly healthy in both terms of health and mana. So now, what is the next move? And it's not to chase the Shadow Demon. Chasing is one of the most common ways that people lose team fights in pubs. People will chase, they'll waste a lot of time running after heroes, and they might even split up a one team fight. If you think about team fights, if you have 4 heroes in one position, that's pretty strong because that's most of a team. You take a 4-on-4 fight, and one of those heroes on the other team runs away. Now it's 4-on-3. But if 2 of the heroes on the team that could be winning the 4-on-3 fight chase the one, suddenly they're leaving 2 of their teammates to fight 3. And that 3 has a good chance of killing the 2. And now, instead of having a 4-on-3 and eliminating 3 and being now potentially 4 or 5 against 2 to do whatever you want for the next 30, 40 seconds, however long the death timers are, suddenly you're losing 2. And though the 2 that were chasing the 1 might not even catch the 1. And therefore, you end up in a situation where suddenly it's a 5-on-3 in the opposite direction. So basically, if you have a strong point, you don't want to leave that strong point unless it's like 100% guaranteed that you're going to kill. I see this, people will chase supports, people will chase tanky offlaners like Bristleback or Abaddon. People will chase carries, which is somewhat better if you're trying to catch a Slark, who's really, really important. But if you don't have a 100% chance of catching that hero, it's oftentimes not even good to do that because the Slark will get away. One person might go chase them. Slark will go heal up a little bit, come back out, and kill the one person that was chasing them, and suddenly the advantage is completely lost. So in this case, we make the call, let's go to Roche immediately afterwards. Best opportunities that we're going to have to take a Roche, and we are able to secure that simply because we killed Zeus first, which is the plan of how to win team fights in this particular game. All right, so very similar location, very similar scenario, except we're going to take a look at when you don't plan fights, how things can go awry, and why this is one of the biggest mistakes that we see in pubs on a regular basis. So right here, you can see that we're down by a significant amount, but that's not the end of the world when you have a Terrorblade on your team. And we do have our BKBs, so Zeus is not nearly as effective as he would be otherwise. We take a quick look at the items. Slark is definitely very farmed. He's pretty dangerous now, but even still, Terrorblade can generally take Slark for most of the game just because he's such a strong anti-carry. So we look at what's going on here. They are in the Roche pit. They're kind of set up around Roche, and this Abaddon is going to try and protect that. And he actually makes a really, really good play here. He just blinks up into 4 heroes, knowing that we really cannot kill him because of borrowed time. We don't have a silver edge on any of our heroes. So he's able to just literally be like, you guys have to hit me. And remember, the way that we win team fights in this game is that we have to kill Zeus first. Zeus, #1 priority, always kill Zeus first. Otherwise, the team fight is going to be very, very difficult to win. So Abaddon does a very smart move, and he basically makes it impossible for us to kill Zeus first. Because he's up here, he reveals the location of all of our heroes, which really screws up our ability to position ourselves in a way where we can catch out the Zeus. The Zeus knows exactly where 4 of our heroes are. Doesn't see the Warlock, but not that big of a deal. And he's able to position himself safely away from heroes. So see that, I mean, we go on him, he pops his borrowed time, but now everything's kind of blown out because we are now, again, totally revealed. We have to walk through this tombstone. The Zeus is in a fairly safe position. He's just waiting for this BKB. I'm not sure why Terrorblade uses BKB so early, but the Zeus is very far away from anybody. We don't have a whole lot of ways to gap close. We do have the Stampede, which really the way that we need to be taking these fights is using Stampede, running on top of the Zeus, bursting the Zeus. The Zeus has 0 defensive capabilities. He's not right next to a Shadow Demon. I mean, maybe the Shadow Demon can save him at this range, or a Abaddon can run over there, but he's very, very vulnerable if we catch him out. So, as you can see in this fight, we are, we're focusing all the wrong heroes, right? We blew everything on the Abaddon, we used the BKB on the Terrorblade, and then we used the Rock on the Slark and the Abaddon. These are two heroes that we're going to have a very, very hard time killing in general. Meanwhile, Zeus is over here, and he gets Echo Slammed by this Earthshaker completely alone. So, clearly, communication breakdown, but we, as a team, need to be finding this Zeus. And when we don't do that, Zeus is able to survive the Echo Slam. He has the ability to just wrap out damage all over the place. We see here that now the fight is completely broken open. Pugna, me, I have BKB on. I'm trying to find somebody to kill, and we were able to kill the Shadow Demon. But now we have this Terrorblade and Centaur chasing an Abaddon. We're chasing an Abaddon, the hardest hero on their team to kill, instead of trying to find the Zeus or disengage, because we don't know where Zeus is at this point. He's somewhere up here on the top side of the map, but if we don't know where he is, very hard for us to continue fighting. So now we're all kind of split up. They're running through Zeus's Nimbus, and now we're in a choke point, and still don't really have any idea where Zeus is. Everybody's getting picked apart. Zeus is able to just do a ton of damage, kill everybody, and that is the difference between taking a fight where you have a plan going into it and not having a plan at all and playing reactionary. We had to react to the Abaddon, blinking in, blowing up our ability to make a plan to take a team fight, and as a result, we ended up losing the fight and the game. So that's what I wanted to show in this video, is basically how to win a team fight, how to win any team fight. Literally just look at their heroes and number them 1 to 5. What is the most important hero to kill? Is it the Zeus? Is it the Slark? Is it the Undying? Shadow Demon? Abaddon? Number 1 is Zeus. Number 2 is Slark. Number 3, Shadow Demon. Number 4, Undying. Number 5, Abaddon. You need to kill them in that order. Otherwise, you're going to have a very, very hard time actually winning the team fight, because they... because with that order, you are able to eliminate all of their damage without having to risk a lot. And that might sound kind of weird, because taking a team fight is risky, but if you think about it, you have to rate their heroes on how difficult they are to kill. Zeus, no defensive items, easiest hero on their team to kill. Also does the most damage. That's a very clear number 1 priority in a team fight to me. Slark, difficult to kill, does the second most damage on their team. Also probably the squishiest. Honestly, he's not that much harder to kill than the Shadow Demon or the Undying, for that matter. Both of them have multiple defensive capabilities. So if you have a bunch of heroes that are around the same level of difficulty to kill, you want to go for the one that is going to be doing the most damage, or that you deem to be kind of like the most important hero in the game. So obviously that is a Slark. Slark significantly more important to kill in every scenario than an Undying or a Shadow Demon. So you have number 1 Zeus, number 2 Slark, number 3 fairly debatable between Undying and Shadow Demon. I would definitely go for Shadow Demon though, just because he has the save, he has the Force Staff, he does a lot of damage actually. And if you kill the Undying, then you have to deal with a second Tombstone. So it's actually almost worse to kill the Undying. And then Abaddon, of course, is just basically the hardest hero to kill in the entire game. So why waste a bunch of resources trying to kill this guy unless he's the only one available to kill to win the fight? So that's it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope this kind of helps you formulate a plan for your next team fight in your next game, helps you win that. And just every game that you play, think about what is the most important hero to kill, who should I be targeting, why should we be targeting them? And if you start playing consciously like that, it's going to go a long way towards getting you to a point where you can comfortably take team fights. And that's and when you're comfortable going into a team fight, much easier to execute your abilities and pull off combos and position yourself effectively if you actually have that plan going into it, because a blueprint helps you build a house. You don't just throw a bunch of boards together and hope that it stays up. You follow the blueprint. Follow the plan in team fights, you're going to be able to build a pretty successful house of wins, a nice 25 MMR inside of them. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you next time.